Zooming In is brought to you by Under Armour Performance Apparel.
Jake's success on that North Dakota buck was a result of having our ground blind set up in the absolute perfect spot. And this is that spot. But let's zoom back and take a look at all the factors that make this spot so potentially productive. First of all, this is where the majority of the deer in the area bed. Now, upon leaving their bedding sanctuary, the deer almost invariably head for this distant dairy farm where they feed either in these picked cornfields or on the mini round bales that surround the farm. The clincher for putting the ground blind where we did was the fact that a local rancher had left a single round bale laying right here. It should be mentioned that while the bale was acting like a magnet for any deer passing through the area, it soon became obvious that they didn't view it as a major food source. The deer that did walk up to the bale would grab only a few mouthfuls of alfalfa before walking off. Fortunately, the bale did act as a beacon for the buck Jake arrowed. The 8-pointer first appeared here, several hundred yards away. The deer approached along this fence line and eventually walked through an open gate. He had cut the distance to 100 yards at this point. Now, I'm sure Jake was thinking that the deer would end up right at the bale. But instead of stopping to munch on the alfalfa, the buck walked right past the bale and continued on, obviously in a hurry to get to the distant dairy farm. Jake waited patiently for the buck to stop walking, which he finally did right about here, only 20 yards from the ground blind. And as you saw, Jake made a good hit on the 8-pointer, and we found him piled up here in this opening. This was a classic example of taking advantage of a very predictable feeding pattern. Jake knew exactly where the deer were bedding and exactly where they were feeding. It was simply a matter of placing the ground blind in a spot he figured would give him his best opportunity to score on a buck. His first choice proved to be right on the money. Hey, don't forget to tune in next week to see where on earth we'll be zooming in. We'll see you here.
Zooming In has been brought to you by Under Armour Performance Apparel.